What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 23, picking up from the Nexus. So with this episode, we're actually going to be pushing towards our conclusion of the game and wrapping up pretty much everything. With that being said, we are going to need to talk about trophies and a few items, as there is still going to be a little bit of work to do in your own time. So there are going to be two multiplayer trophies. For one, you will have to kill an invader. For the other, you need to be summoned to another player's world to help them kill a boss. Now, this is something we're not going to do here during our episodes, as just with the connection issues, it could take forever and we could just be wasting a lot of time. So make sure you guys handle this on your own. Aside from that, as far as the trophies, we're not going to get over the next two episodes. For the all ring achievement, we will have all the rings aside for two, because these two rings can only be attained by trading very rare items with the crow. So you're going to need a pure bladestone and you're going to need a golden coin. Once you get these items, these can be traded to Snuggly the crow for the rest of your rings. Then obviously you'll be missing the rest of your spells, which takes your other two playthroughs to get. If you were to go through the missing trophies, you'll see that we need to take out the final boss. You'll see that we need to get the ending. You're going to see that we need to craft the Northern Regalia, which is a weapon. All this will be caught up. I want to make sure you guys know where to farm these items for the crow so you can get your last two rings. So with that in mind, the first stop we're going to do is jumping on over here to the ritual path. This will be the best option for this. Now you're going to have to farm, and we've already talked about pure bladestones for dex builds so you guys can max out your weapons, but you're going to need to farm one of two guys. It's going to be your elite skeletons with the dual katanas. So your best, and I've only seen two drop this, by the way. There are others in the zone obviously, but there's only two I've seen drop it. One is up here. And remember, if you're in pure black, it's going to make life much easier. It's extremely rare. And I'm pretty sure you have to be in pure black for this. But this, just to show it off, you're going to want this guy right here. Or, see if we can find a safer way down. Yeah, I can't be lazy about it. We just got to go. So you got to set the world to pure black, right? Which we know how to do that. Die in human form a few times. You guys should have stones. We showed you where to farm these already throughout the series. So you have to set the world to pure black. Either farm him for pure bladestone, or you'd have to go back down towards the farm. And this is the actual farm we showed during the series. But just to kind of recap, as this is needed for your platinum, it's very important being at the very end. Like I said, next episode, all it is final boss, go over our ending, and we're done. This episode is tighten up everything else, so it's one of your last chance to cover this. So as you take him out and go on down, you're gonna go here to the right. We need to go up to the second stairwell. So that's one. That's two. Loosen our wall. Actually, let's get our shield for this guy. Can be pretty beefy. Once again, you need to be in pure black world tendency, not just character where we are now. This is your guy right here. I think his drop chance is probably even better than the first guy. Although the first guy's just easy to get to, but either one of those guys, you will have to just go ahead and farm for for the pure blade. Now, once you have that pure bladestone, you guys remember where the crow is. I'm certain of it, as we've been there many times throughout the series. But yeah, once you got that, you'll trade that with the crow, and now we have to cover the gold coin. So this is more of what you got to do in your own time, guys, because farming's farming. It's not guaranteed. We could sit here for hours, even days, attempting this. If we're being completely honest, we don't know how long it's going to take. So, I showed you the guys to farm, and we just got to take it from there, unfortunately. I do apologize, but farming's not guaranteed, and there's no way we can guarantee that sitting here for an hour we could even get this done. But it does need to be done for your platinum. You still have two other playthroughs, so you can just remember it for later, or hopefully you just naturally get it going through the game. So aside from that, the other one is going to be back at the Tunnel City. So it doesn't matter which fat official you farm, but you do need to farm a fat official. They're the only ones that can drop this item. So once again, pure black world tendency, providential ring, boost that item discovery every which way you know how to do. And then you can just kind of keep going through this. Now, these two farms I'm showing you guys, the first one I knew about, this being the easiest fat official to kill. I actually saw this on YouTube, so I can't take credit for it. For those of you that do care, I mean, obviously going through the walkthrough, almost everything we found is stuff I came up with as far as tactics and strategies for bosses, ways to get items, but I cannot take credit for this one. This one's actually pretty genius, because the fat official's right here. And then what you would do is just drop this lift for a quick way to kill yourself, and you can farm this guy quickly, over and over and over, very, very, very quickly. But you got to farm him, so you just do that, roll on off. And you can do it again. Now what I would do is go ahead and get your Infernal Stones. We showed you guys the farm. You have to be in Pure Black World 5. And then the big red dudes, the really, really big red depraves, they drop Infernal Stones every single time you kill them. So you'd have plenty to go and set all your worlds to Pure Black. That's what I'd recommend. But eventually, this gentleman right here will drop a red coin. You take both of those items on over to the crow, and then you will be able to get your last 2 rings. Now, aside from those 2 rings, we're still missing, I think, 1 at this point, but I'm about to get it this episode. That's why we're covering this now. Now, you guys remember where the crow is, but I'm still, just to be thorough, as we're at the very end. I mean, we have been so thorough this whole playthrough, we're not going to stop now. Like I said, it's a really good time, because next episode is only the final boss. We're going to craft our last weapon for a trophy, and we're done. So this episode we need to cover all loose ends as far as missing trophies. So you get your items, you're going to go on over here to the crow, trade those in for the last 2 rings to get that achievement. Your spells is going to take 2 other playthroughs. Just make different choices with your boss souls as you turn those in, obviously. Aside from that, kill an invader online, help a player kill a boss online, those 2 trophies. And then that's it. You know, everything else we're going to get you guys. So right now there should be like 8 missing trophies. By the time we do next episode, you guys should just be missing your 2 online trophies, the ring trophy until you farm up those last rings, and then your spells, and that's it, right? So, even though we cannot completely get a Platinum 1 playthrough, like I said, we'll get you guys about 98% of the way there. You're not going to be missing much. You should just be missing 4, the Platinum 2 multiplayer, the rings, spells. So, either way. So covering Sparky. Now the other reason I want to show where he was is I forgot to grab you guys the Generator's ring. And I don't really think it mattered because we already picked up another one over there in World 5. Right in the swamp, you couldn't have missed it. But we never showed you guys how to get the Regenerator ring. So I want to go ahead and tell you this. I told you guys how to do the skip. You know, we just didn't do it live. But either way, as you work your way on up, we're going to go over here to the left side first. Take you guys on over to Snuggly. I've been calling him Sparky the Crow the whole time. He's actually Snuggly the Crow. Thank you. Now remember, as you progress, over here on the right is going to be another one. Thank you. Now instead of going down, we're going to be going up. And there's going to be 2 doors. We want to go to the door on the outside. This one leads to like a castle wall, so we don't need that. We need to go this door. And then you would drop the gold coin, pure bladestone right here. Close out, load, quit the game, load back in. You get your last 2 rings, right? So now that we are here, might as well farm up your lizard one last time. And we told you guys this before too. Every time you kill the boss, the lizards will respawn for each boss you've killed, right? So, 3 bosses in the world. All those lizards are actually going to be able to be killed 4 times. The initial time, and then, 1 time per boss. So now we have done a full circle. Take him. Take them. And then if you go all the way over here, is the Regenerator skip. So we talked about this before. Now, we already got this ring. However, as we progress towards the Adjudicator boss, there was a little ledge that I just did not happen to go all the way down, where there's a little crystal lizard. Beyond that point where you really pick up the ring. But just to show the skip we talked about prior. Now, a lot of people online think this is so hard and you got to run and dodge at the right second. I want to show you how easy this is. Get to the ledge and literally just roll. Just roll. Drop Regenerator ring right here. So to show where this naturally was and why we missed it, if you were to go down this way, because you can't go the other way, drop right here. This is that crystal lizard right outside the Adjudicator boss fight rather. And I told you guys that, this is why it's like, oh, you might get yourself killed trying to get it. Well, when we went over here to do that, we were so worried about the boss, I literally just forgot to climb up the ledge and grab you guys your ring. So I figured we'd at least show you guys a skip. So your next playthrough right at the start, if you're doing a fresh character, you can run and grab it immediately. Like I said, it's just a duplicate of one we already have, but it still needed to be covered in my opinion. Now, from there, see if we can grab a soul. I don't know how close we are, but I know it's getting up there. Now, I did put on lighter armor just so we can get more damage. I don't even have to have that ring on anymore. Alright guys, so with that caught up, that does show you how to finish up with your, your all ring achievement after this episode. Those farms do need to be done, and you do need to trade. So now we're going to jump on over to the King's Tower. Now, this is going to take you to the final boss of the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear the area in full, and then we're just going to hop on out before the final boss. That way we can finish up our quest lines. We still have one thing to do for pure black character tendency. And then we have Estrada's quest line, and to get you guys the Demon Brain. Really powerful weapon that's useless early game, which is why we didn't do it. Plus you fuck up Estrada's quest line, so obviously we didn't cover it that way. And it's very difficult to get until now. So either way, once you get past them, you have 3 red phantoms. And this can be challenging if you're not careful, because they're obviously going to be doing a lot of damage. Luckily for us, our damage isn't so bad anymore, right? We got really good weapons, fully maxed out. I'd love to know how you missed that one. Or how I missed that one, rather. And now with all of our tendency events done, we could actually stay in full health now. I know it sucks. You have to play the whole game in fucking soul form because we're going for, 100% walkthrough, right? And it needed to be done. But now that all that is done, we could actually use our whole health bar. Isn't that nice? Let's try to just pull these guys back. If you got the stones, you got all your events done, you want to stay at full health, do it. We're good to do it now. Another really good thing about our weapon, guys, is the fact that it goes right through shields. It's another reason I wanted to recommend it. So no one can block our hits. They cannot be blocked. It goes right through because it's literally just magic, There's nothing to block. There's no physical portion about our weapon at all. It does no physical damage. So it cannot be blocked. Oh god, usually she does not have the time to get that off. Usually I just kind of get her off while she's using her arrows there. Alrighty, so now we got her. Now this is just getting you a lot of items you've already had the chance to get before. It's like if you would have missed the penetrating sword, if you would have missed the tower shield, if you would have missed the white bow, you can pick all that up here. In fact, if you missed that little trick drop for the penetrating sword, I said, hey, we'll get it in our next area. Well, I meant, the next area of World 1, obviously, but there it is. So let's go on through, get rid of anything we do not need. So I know this is starting to pile up, especially with that whopper of a shield there. Everything else is probably fine. Alright, so with that done, moving forward over here, you're going to have a fork. So we want to go to the left side first, as this is your dead end. We have a quick item. Now we can go to what I like to refer to as the Stairwell of Death, because it's pretty bad. You have 2 red-eye knights, that green, the lizard must have disappeared, it's okay. Oh no, there he is. You have, the green ninja dude from World 1-3, 2 red-eye knights, quite a few archers, and it's all in this really tight stairwell, so obviously it can be a little difficult, to say the least. What we're going to do, moving forward, is we're just going to kind of aggro these guys and run out. Now, the red eye should be on your ass immediately. So just run in, run out. There it goes. Once again, his shield, it's not doing shit. Alright, so as we run up the stairs, we could roll off onto a ledge for the archer, but there might be him. Yeah, usually he drops up top a little bit more, but I have had him where he'll come down a little bit sooner, but it doesn't matter, right? He went out just like anybody else, so not so bad. I'm actually glad he came sooner, one less thing to worry about. But one more red eye. Thank you. Stay aggressive. Stay on them. And we did get the item. Yeah. Alright, so once we get up here, there's actually something to talk about. So there's going to be 2 fat officials. We're going to make this really big blue dragon. Kill the first. Then we want to run and roll past the second so we don't get killed. Now, we are not going to take out this dragon like we took out the other one because he just has so much health. I mean, it'd take you fucking a year, dude. I did it when I was taking notes for the series. And when look at that. When I tell you it took me like an hour and a half, it took me an hour and a half, guys. So, you will get 30,000 souls, and you'll get this boss soul worth 30,000. Cannot craft any miracles, weapons, there's no achievement for it. So, we're not going to waste the time. Which means it's also going to be impossible to get the items here. So, you're going to miss a few grass and then a legendary warrior soul. I'm sorry, I think it's a sword warrior soul. Regardless, it's worth 2,000 souls. So I'm going to run past it. I'm not worried about risking 50,000 for a few low-level heals and a soul worth 2,000. It doesn't make sense. So you guys can do as you wish, but we're not going to cover it up the series. Like I said, we'll cover everything, but if it just doesn't make sense to do so, then it doesn't make sense to do so, guys. And even these fat officials have a lot of health. Yeah, keep prancing around, buddy. Alright, so up ahead, there's another fat official around the corner. But like I said, we're not going to fuck with them. So what we're going to do is run. You don't want to sit here and fight with the guy because the dragon will pivot and he's going to get it. Now you're good right now to get this lizard. There's no immediate threat. If you can't, it's not a big deal. It's just more of what we already have. And just for fun, let's go ahead and break everybody's shit. You know what I mean? Alright. So with that, we are good and caught up. So over here is going to be a pretty decent shortcut. It's not that great, but it's better than what we have now. So if you just wrap this around, one will go on down. Pick up the knight set. So it's your knight shield, knight sword. We've already gotten both. And then right over here, you're kind of going just straight across. And this is going to get you a shortcut. Now we do want to go this way because there's still an item you could not get before. So if you see the door open here, it's okay to walk on this. There is a floor there. It's hard to see, but it's there. Blue-eyed Knight Greaves. Now we could have climbed and got this before. You're going to see a little ladder here off that little ledge where the archers were. But this door was locked, so it just made more sense to do it this way. Now, same thing. When we go down here, you have the dragon. If you guys want to try to take him out, you can. But not only does it take forever, it's also dangerous because he can get to you, right? Now, there are 4 soul items here, not worth the most. You might need to grab a few, but I'm not grabbing all of them because it's just going to get us killed while we have 250,000. So, if you guys want them, pick them up. But we don't want to get ourselves killed with it, right? Now, getting up top is going to be good to get these. Moving forward from this point, these stairs are going to take you to a bridge, which will bring you to a lift to your final boss of the game. So this is where we're going to hop out. But first, we have 2 things left to do. Right over here, Ostrava will wrap up his quest, and he's just going to kind of get himself killed. So when we were doing the Pure Black World Tendency event, she asked us the last time to kill a prince, but she didn't say Ostrava. You guys don't know that, but Ostrava is actually the king's son, so he is technically the prince. But we're not going to kill him because he's just going to kind of die. We're just going to get the mausoleum key from him. That way we can go get the demon branch. Like I say, he just kind of dies on his own. Then you can get... No, the rune shield and sword come from the Phantom version. So right over here, we're going to go down this bridge. And here's Ostrava as a Phantom now that he is dead. He's not necessarily a hard fight, if I'm being, completely honest here. He's got a little bit more health than some of the others. But not bad. Alright, Ostrava. Got your shit. So we've already got the rune set from World 3 too, but it's another opportunity to get it right here. So now that we have all that wrapped up, we're just going to jump on out. Like I said, what's next is the final boss. We're going to do that next episode. So just, we're not worried about it now. We have other loose ends to tighten up that are very, very, very important to do so. So for one, we need to tighten up, wrap up with our pure black character tendency events because we couldn't go any further until we killed Ostrava, right? And if you move forward to try to attempt the final boss, guys, you're going to be locked out leveling up and everything else. So, don't recommend doing this shit. Like I said, there's a reason we're doing things in the order we're doing them in. It's very important. So don't need. And the pants, right? Yep, so it should be good. So with that, we'll go ahead and pop our souls. And if you want the other ones, go get them, guys. You know, it's just too high of a risk for us to cover on the walkthrough. You can kill the dragon if you want. Once again, we're not going to spend an hour and a half doing so. We're getting up there, guys. Almost to 300 damage. We're getting around 275 right now. So before we do anything else, we need to go up top for a pure black world tendency events. We're going to wrap this up. So we're going to pretty much tell her that we killed Estrava like she asked. Although she didn't call him by name, that's who she was referring to. And then she's going to ask us to kill Yuria.
Excellent.
So now, make sure you have any spell you want. Make sure you have everything equipped you want, because Yuria is the last mage. So it's your last chance to equip anything that you may want to have. Alrighty. So you're gonna get more shit you already have. Ring of Magical Nature, the Ragged Set, and now when we go back up, similar to how the Monumental gave us the Allies Ring, otherwise known as the Friendship Ring, that is going to boost your damage as a blue. This is going to get us the Foes Ring, so while you're invading worlds, it'll give you a damage boost. However, once you complete this and get this ring, she is going to attack you. She doesn't have much health, but she can be a little bit of a dick if you're not careful. So there's your Foes Ring. She just wield dagger. She don't have much health. Obviously, for our build, she's not going to be perfect, right? Just depends if you just happen to get caught by her or not. So, Parrying Dagger, Epi Rapier, Gold Mask, Ring of the Accursed. Now, the Gold Mask we traded with Snuggly the Crow to get a colorless Demon Soul. A lot of people, they say not to do it because the Gold Mask is so rare. But as you see, there's actually 2 that you can get in a single playthrough. So with that, before we head out, we're going to go through our storage again. Because we don't need that, we don't need that. Don't need. And we have a lot of duplicates on rings as well, guys. These are different, by the way. Yeah, we got 2 of those. 3 thief rings. Look at that. 3 fucking thief rings. 2 rings of the accursed. And that should catch us up. So at this point, you're missing 3 rings. We told you how to get the other 2 by farming. The only way to get the other one is to jump on over to Gates of Boletaria. Now, this is going to be challenging, to say the least. This is going to be challenging. If you want to use poison, if you want to use blood loss or something that would give you that type of advantage, this is going to make life much easier. But we're going to take you guys to the mausoleum that I told you not to go to at the start of the game. We talked about this. There was like a red-eye knight at the top of the castle wall. I said, a lot of people want to try to rush this area early, kill Estrava, fuck up his whole quest line, to get to a weapon that's utterly useless because of the fact that it scales with tendency and for neutral offers nothing to you. And you would be neutral at the start of the game, plus you wouldn't even have the stats to use it regardless. However, now that Estrava's questline is played out the correct way, we do have the mausoleum key without killing him, and we do need to go up here to get the Demon Brand. So you have Soul Brand, Demon Brand. One is going to scale off pure white tendency, one will scale off pure black tendency. So if you're neutral, they offer nothing. With that being said, it's really good, but it's more of a new game plus. Now, if you're pure black, one version of this weapon will be useless, right? Because like I said, there's 2 halves. If you're pure black, one weapon will be useless. If you're pure white, the other. So what we're going to do is we're going to craft a weapon using both of them and combine them to make something called the Northern Regalia, which is a trophy, so we have to cover it. But it's a phenomenal weapon. It's great sword moveset, but it scales whether you're in pure white or pure black. So it's giving you both of those effects. So high magic, very high magic damage, very high physical damage. Why your enemy scaling goes up in New Game Plus, it would definitely help out with that. So if you guys remember, from here we have to run all the way to the other end, deal with Mr. Red Eye, who's not going to be much of a... Like, check this out. You see what I'm saying? So, this is very, very, very... I mean, it's the start of the game, guys. Why the Red Eye... And I'm sitting here telling you how hard this is going to be while we're one-shotting everybody, but why the Red Eye isn't much of a challenge, the old king, the guy in here we have to take out, He has more health than anyone else in the game, I'm pretty sure, and it takes a long time. There's only one way I know to deal with them. There's multiple ways. There's one way that's not super cheesy, and it's still a little bit. Because you can't fight him head up. I'll explain why. But what we're going to be doing... Well, let's go and get him down first. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I'll go tit for tat with you now, Jake. You can't put me down no more. Either way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and kind of just beat on this guy. Now, until he gets half health, he won't even aggro. So we are going to want a few things. We're going to want to put on a thief ring, because what we're going to do is kind of make him follow us, right? We're going to make him chase us, and then with the thief ring, he'll de-aggro. Then we can come backstab him. Then we're going to run away again and just rinse repeat. Because the thing of it is, like I said, he has a lot of fucking health. But more importantly, he can use heal after heal after heal. So the last thing you want is him healing after you spent 5 minutes busting down his health. So as you're going in, like I said, you're trying to get him to halfway on his health bar. Then that's where shit really starts. But obviously, you can go in here and acid cloud him. Try to get some damage over time. Use blood loss. I mean, whatever you want to do. Now, once you've done enough damage, you'll be able to pick up the demon branch. He's going to be very passive until we get that health down. And then I think he does heal himself, so he'll be at full health once he's... Okay, we're good. Now, if he hits you twice, you're dead. That's all there is to it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to run away and de-aggro. Like I said before. We want to make sure he gets to the bridge. He needs to follow us. That's kind of the big thing here. He's got to follow us. Alright, there we are. Now, he hasn't used the heal. So they're only going to use heals while they're in active combat. So if they're not in active combat, he won't try to heal. We've got to get him to chase us, that's the thing. I might be moving too fast. The thief ring's got quite a bit of range. Yeah, you see that? He doesn't want to go too far. That ought to grab his fucking attention, though. Huh? There's also a tactic people use where they make him follow all the way to the other side and try to hurl him down those stairs. I think it's kind of complicated to do. I think this is much easier. Although it takes some time, if your weapon has decent damage, it really shouldn't be that bad, guys. Right, so he should be aggroed. Or we would have saw him. Alright, there we go. Run away and de-aggro so he doesn't heal. So when I was doing this taking notes, I got too antsy and he healed on me like fucking twice. It was miserable. There he is. That's all you really need. You know, just the thief ring's plenty, bro. It is a little tedious, don't get me wrong, but it's the only way I could figure it out to make it easy enough for everybody. I like this too because we're keeping them in, we're keeping them in range. Typically, you got to run like all the way down every time. Don't heal, don't heal, don't heal, don't heal, don't heal, don't heal, don't heal. We're so close to the end, so fucking close. Run away again. Now you can try to beat on him to finish him off while his health is like that, but I gotta be honest with you guys, if he happens to get that heal off, you're starting all over again, and it's although typically enemies' health like that would be enough to finish him off, but that's actually a few hits. Like I said, he's got an astounding amount of health. Thank God. I thought he used to heal there for a second. There you are. You're going to get a set, which is really cool, but you also get the last ring that we need for platinum. Aside for the 2 you have to farm. Remember, you still have to farm those 2, right? Gold coin, pure bladestone. So once you get that, you do your farm, you will have your all ring achievements. What am I doing? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Alright guys, so we are all wrapped up. Next episode, we have the final boss. We have the Northern Regalia. We'll show you how to craft that. And then obviously we have our endings. And there's actually 2 endings. I'll cover them both, but there's one that I think it's very, very imperative we do for our first playthrough. So, like I said, you have 3 playthroughs anyways. Next playthrough, obviously start working on those spells, get the different ending. Then on your 3rd, get the rest of your spells, and that's your platinum. So, to reiterate before we close, you have 2 online. You have 1 trophy for killing an invader. You have to do that. You have 1 trophy for helping a player kill a boss. You have to do this on your own. You have 2 rings to farm. You need to farm a fat official and 2 drops of gold coin. You need to farm the dual katana wielding skeletons for the pure bladestone. Now, get those worlds to pure black, guys. You're not going to get that pure upgrade map without being in Black World Tendency, so you have to do that. But once you have that, that's your all ring achievement. We got all miracle achievement. Spells, you got 2 more playthroughs. Then the other trophies we're missing, we're going to get as we go through. So, it's a couple multiplayers, couple farms, couple playthroughs for Magic, and that's it, guys. You guys should be pretty much wrapped up. So, like I said, next episode will be our ending, which is a trophy. Will be the Northern Regalia, which is a trophy, and our boss, which is a trophy. So that's going to knock out the 3 of the 8 trophies we're missing. And you have 2 multiplayer, so that's going to be 5. You have the platinum yourself, which is 7. Then you have your all spell achievements, and you guys are good. So hopefully that has helped you guys, and it's easy enough to understand. And we will catch y'all back here shortly for the conclusion of the walkthrough for Demon Souls.